Hello, Aquarius. This is your June 2020 Mercury Retrograde reading. As mentioned in the introductory video, I strongly feel this particular Mercury Retrograde cycle has a lot to do with getting back in touch with ourselves emotionally. It's about sort of releasing old challenges that have been going on and reconciling ourselves so that we can emerge and feel stronger and better about who we are. Now, when most people think about Mercury retrograde, it's the car that breaks down or the computer that breaks or you drop your phone, which is probably one of the worst things to have happen. Or it's the weird communication that's going on where maybe you get in a fight with a friend or family or loved ones because everyone's not really understanding what it is that you're trying to say. But I strongly believe that during Mercury retrograde, we also have an opportunity to do a lot of self work and then come out of it feeling better about who we are. And that way we can turn around and tackle the remainder of the year in a much more vigilant way. We'll feel better about who we are and we'll be on top of our goals and in control of our feelings. Now, this particular reading won't be predictive by nature. This is going to be more of a way to navigate through this particular cycle so that you can come out feeling great. One thing to note about me is I don't read things in a traditional manner. I believe anybody who dabbles in this particular industry or works in this industry really needs to develop a method that makes the most sense to them. It's, in my opinion, it's counterintuitive for any of us to say, oh, things absolutely have to be done ABC 1, 2, 3. You have to be able to trust your gut. You have to be able to trust your intuition. So it's going to be okay to change things up, which I'll probably do based on just some standard definitions here. But this first row is what I want to talk about here first of all. The ring is typically a card of commitment. It's things that you've committed to, or sometimes it means cycles too, depending on the context of the reading. But then here we also have the tree. The tree is a beautiful card. It's blossoming. It's your overall well-being. It's being grounded. It's sort of your spiritual self in a lot of instances too. And then over here on the right, we have the clover. The clover is a card of good luck. It's a card of things happening for us quickly. So far we're off to a pretty good start when we have the ring, the tree, and the clover. That's a commitment to your overall well-being that happens for you quickly. And we'll throw a couple more down here. Now up here at the top, we have the Rider card. The rider is usually a message that's incoming, but for the sake of this particular reading, we're going to see the rider as basically sort of a journey that you're going to be taking. You're going to be going through a journey throughout this cycle to focus in on your overall well-being and then emerge to come out feeling more beautiful, happier about the way that you look, happier about the way that you feel, renewed, fresh. Think of flowers in the spring when they're blossoming. That's ultimately the place that we want to get to here. And let me apologize if I sound a little bit gruff. I've been doing some yard work the last couple of days, and I've been trimming trees, which I really don't like doing. And one of the trees out there literally rains allergies all over me, so I'm glad I'm done with it. So I'm going to throw down 4 more here. I first learned about this particular spread from Layla, the Lenormand reader. Her and I do read things very differently, but I find her to be impeccably talented. But again, I'm going to change things up a little bit for the sake of this. Now, the square that shows up will often show us some other influences and things that are going on. First, we have the child card. The child is, sometimes it just means a kid, but it's usually about like a new beginning. It's about a fresh start. It's about things that we want to be able to do a little bit differently. And then we have the star card here. The star card is an awesome card. It's all about, in this deck specifically, it's about renewal. It's about wellness. It's about achieving our goals and getting out there and doing everything that we want to do. Now down here we do have the scythe. The scythe is a challenging card. That's something that's been cut away. It's been chopped away. Sometimes I've seen it just mean quick, but I do think it's going to be our challenge going throughout this. And then, of course, down here we have the heart. The heart is basically the heart. It's the love we have inside of us. It's a lot of our different feelings and things of that sort as well. So when we put all of this together, we have the child, the star, the scythe, and the heart. It's very possible that maybe you've already wanted to go down a new path or take on some new beginning. Maybe you've wanted to partake in some type of wellness program too, or implement a new regimen into your life that you know will make you feel a little bit better with the bouquet down here. But somehow this has been cut away. Maybe responsibilities are getting in the way, but once that gets chopped off, basically it's gonna affect you at the heart level. And the last thing anybody wants to experience is emotional pain. I know exactly what that's like, and that's the last place that we want to be. So let's look at some of the other information that we have in here. We definitely want a new beginning. This new beginning is going to be in our heart center. We want to commit to it over here as well. But then we also see these plans, these renewals, these different things that we want to do, that we want to travel toward. Somehow that's being cut away. And I believe that's being cut away probably because of other responsibilities that are going on in our lives. Maybe it's things we just keep setting to the side, things that we needed to focus in on that maybe at the time we thought were a little bit more important. But during this particular Mercury retrograde cycle, it's going to be important for you to really, really focus in on the things that you want to do. It's going to be important for you to make a commitment to yourself. You need to ride through, you need to let this tree bloom again and get yourself really, really grounded so that you get back down to a spot here again where you feel great about who you are. Everything is going really well. It'll no longer feel like your luck over here is being cut away. And I also think this has to do with maybe some new ideas that you had. I know I already alluded to that a little bit here, but these new ideas that you have can bring you a lot of luck. So don't let your head get in the way down here and cut things away, or maybe find a way to consider prioritizing things in your life a little bit differently so that you can achieve everything that you want to achieve. Because right now, the only thing here that is negative for you is this scythe. And when I see the scythe and the bouquet together too, to me, sometimes that means that, perhaps with the isolation that a lot of us have been facing, it's also possible that maybe you let some behaviors slip. Maybe you let yourself go a little bit. I know my diet, for example, has not exactly been fantastic. I've not been on top of that, nor have I been as on top of like my exercise regimen. So it may be a good time to start that back up too. It really comes down to anything that you do for yourself that makes you feel better about who you are, makes you feel more beautiful on the outside and on the inside with this blossoming tree, is really, really going to help you move forward through this cycle. So we can also look at some of the other information that's showing here. We already know this new beginning with our overall wellness has been cut out a little bit. I think that's due to some of the plans that we've had or other responsibilities that we've been facing. But what we're also being told here is that when we follow these particular plans or follow these dreams, so to speak, we already know they're lucky. We already know that they can happen for us quickly. Our trees will blossom, we'll feel grounded, and our heart's going to feel well too. Basically, that's really, really positive information if you ask me. Now let's look through and around some of the other combinations that we see here. First let's start with the clover, the scythe, and the bouquet. Now again, the clover is a good luck card. It's about things moving quickly, but it can also be things that are a little bit more on like the temporary side. So it's possible that maybe you did start something new here and then you just cut it away because you know what, I don't have time for this. And then that's going to affect your overall well-being down here and the way that you feel about yourself. It's really going to be about making this commitment that we see over here with the ring for the long haul in order to get through all of this. Because when we look at this, when we look at the ring, the heart, and the bouquet, when we make a commitment from our heart and we stick with it throughout the whole thing, by following this journey down here, we eventually get to this point. So make a commitment to having a brand new beginning for yourself and then take this journey, because this journey through all of these goals and aspirations and things that you want to do to improve yourself are going to bring you a lot of luck in your life. There's a really, really a lot of good information in here for you. And surprisingly, this is less about reconciling a lot of different emotions. However, I think it's important to focus in on the way that you're thinking. When you're stopping yourself from following a plan or following a new idea that you have or something that it is that you want to do a little bit differently in your life, you need to stop yourself right then and ask yourself why. Am I stopping it because I'm scared of it? Am I stopping it because I'm a little bit nervous about taking this journey and having this new beginning? Am I stopping it because maybe I'm feeling a little bit insecure because I haven't followed my wellness regimen as much as I would like? When those types of thoughts start creeping in, jot them down, and that way you can actually release them, because those are going to create difficult emotions for us. It's going to create some stress. It's going to create some anxiety. And stress and anxiety, I know I'll be the first one to raise my hand. I know exactly what that can do to our overall well-being. I've gone through some pretty challenging experiences myself over the last several months, and stress will just absolutely eat away at you. You will feel deteriorated. It will affect your confidence levels in multiple ways, but you can move through it. Basically, what this comes down to is, let's take this scythe out of the picture. When we take that scythe out, everything is beautiful. So don't let these random thoughts that pop into your head chop away at you. Follow your wellness regimen. Think about all the different plans that you want to accomplish. Stick with it. Make a commitment. Trust that it's okay to go down this new road and partake in this new beginning, because when you do, it results in basically you being a star, and you're lucky. This is really, really good for you guys, this particular cycle. I don't necessarily think it's going to take that long. I really genuinely believe it's all about changing your mindset around a little bit. Now, I could probably spend like another hour or so on this particular spread, but I think that sort of covers the basics for us. So if you see anything else in here that maybe I missed, feel free to leave a comment, or if you found this helpful, I would appreciate those comments as well. I'm still new to this, but I felt very compelled to do this for this particular cycle. And I do wish all of you the best. I hope you stay safe, and I hope you have a great Mercury retrograde cycle and come out of it feeling ready to basically tackle the rest of the year.